Oh. Oh, we got 2 minutes on the ample time.
I didn't make good notes. What time is the referendum meeting tonight?
5:30.
So I should text my husband and tell him to make some.
Mine would not be able to pick up a kid.
That's probably very important. Oh, yeah, don't forget to pick up the kid.
Is he gonna ever say?
No, he should. He should. He's been Mr. Mom for the past how long is it?
Yeah.
It's just that I'm used to the kid. Used to them driving now. And now that if I have to think about picking one of them up,
I bet.
it's great though.
Yeah. Abby's a very late birthday, so she's a June. But still, that day will come.
Nick, 2 months? Month and a half?
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. All right. It is 4:30, so I'm going to call to order.
Wait, I don't think he's started.
Oh, sorry.
Brandon, are you started?
Just off the cuff. We're all good?
Yeah.
Okay. It is 4:30. I'm going to call it to order. Is there any public comment? No, Mr. Spinola. Okay. All right, so Lord Tyler.
Yeah, I wanted to, before our board meeting, to have a facility meeting. Obviously, if you look at the document that I attached, or model attached, there's 2 people who bidded. I think 3 showed up, 2 actually provided us a bid. The first one you see is actually the addendum 1. That's to put things back where the abatement is taking place. If you look at your map, that is everything on here that's blue and it's not brown. So that's every place that we have to put flooring back in there because the abatement's getting taken care of. So low bid on that was the 110,820 for commercial flooring. If I'm not mistaken, Mike, this is the same group that did the flooring for us at the high school last summer.
Yes, the second phase, and they did a really good job. The second phase was just this area.
So obviously, we're not gonna pull a facility meeting just for that because, I mean, it's kind of common sense that we gotta put it back in there. What I want to do is have a conversation about the second part, which is addendum part 2. That is the brown area on the map that you see. That is not being abated. There's no asbestos. It has been tested by Ideal. There's nothing in the mastic. So it does not have to be abated. However, it's one of those things that if you're doing something to make the place better, it's not a bad idea to see if it's something we want to address now. And so what I have is I have Mr. Snilla here as well. I just sent around some pictures. That's the hallway that we're talking about that's in the brown. So it's, you know, it's in bad shape. And
How
so,
old? That's from the 2000 edition? Okay.
And most of that crack, all of that cracking is due to the moisture problem that we had in the basement, which has been taken care of 2 years ago where we concreted that 5,000 square foot area.
Okay.
So, but it did its damage, and if you looked at those pictures, I didn't really label them, but it's classrooms and the hallway
Yeah.
that are just cracked beyond belief.
is that upstairs and downstairs or just upstairs?
Downstairs has not,
Wow.
upstairs only.
So make sure you
Well,
get
they have a
that.
lot of traffic through there too.
What about the subfloor?
Of the upstairs,
Under this?
that is a concrete overlay on top of, mostly it's Flexicor, which is a concrete plank.
Yeah.
So for years, well, since 2000, that basement level and that storm cellar was gravel. And it just migrated moisture constantly, so much so that it would rain, moisture would collect on that ceiling and would just drip all the time.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, like 5 years ago, I put 2 huge fans in there that run 24/7. It helped move the air around so that the moisture wouldn't drop but it still released a lot of moisture, which just kind of just soaked
Stayed.
in. Instead of rusting a ceiling, which would be if it was somewhere else, it got sucked in by the precast flooring and migrated up through the floors. So then when we cemented it, put down the vapor barrier, plastic vapor barrier, and then cemented over it, it stopped that moisture from collecting.
Okay.
So I think we have it solved, but it did its damage over the last 20 years.
And we're talking about doing all that brown, right? So everything will be that way, and it's only 40,000 more?
Yeah, on top of the 110, or I guess 111
I
for rounding.
think,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I mean, do it right.
Do it right,
You
get it all
know.
done, everything's the same, done, finished.
Yeah.
And talking with Jerry, because that's not an abatement area, they can be working on that while the abatement's getting done. I mean, obviously, they'll close it off, so this includes removing the current tile and putting
So
everything
the
down.
tile company would be removing the tile, so the prices for removal,
And
floor prep, and new tile.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, I think.
I agree. I agree. How does this fit in with the scheduling for HVAC as well?
So,
That is gonna be,
Mike and I are.
Thank you
we're-
for your
we're highly op-
patience
We're
and-
highly optimistic about this.
Okay.
So once we have this a formal bid approved at the March board meeting, Jerry's already met with GRP, talked to GRP, we're gonna have them, the tile people from Commercial Flooring, and Valor, is that the one doing the abatement, Valor? Does that sound right, Valor Technologies?
yes.
The three of them will get together and we'll have a contractors meeting, so we'll start laying out a timeline. The hope is GRP next month will get in and start doing the second shift stuff in the ceilings.
Great.
Theoretically, they can finish the high school, they can be working on the high school while the abatement's getting done, and then the tile people are behind them, and then once the tile people move, we can then transition over. Theoretically, this building done in June, while that's being abated, that building done in July, and then Mike will have all of August. I'm an optimist, I think it's gonna
And
happen.
then Mike's gonna take a vacation.
Well deserved.
It'll be more than that, I think.
But if you're getting all new flooring, do you still have to wax it and everything? or-
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes,
okay.
yep.
Before we travel on down that road, can I talk about the,
You're more than welcome,
Okay.
Tucker.
so, everything was bid out as VCT, which is what we see in the hallways now, and this is the colors that were picked out by the elementary school.
Is this the same color or no?
It's a little bit, it's slightly different, it's
Okay.
not beige, it's,
Okay.
well, it's this, it's a gray, and then it's another kind of a beige with some orange in it.
Okay.
In the offices, principal's office, the main office, and also the nurse's office, because it's all connected, what I think
Yep.
would be better than a VCT, which there's so much traffic in that office, that main office, it wears so fast, is to put in what's called a luxury vinyl, which is this. That's this one.
Oops, sorry, Mike.
It's much harder. It doesn't need maintenance. It doesn't need to be scrubbed and waxed all the time.
And waterproof then.
Yeah, it's, right now there's carpet in there.
Yeah.
You can't keep the carpet clean, obviously. And what'll end up happening, if we put VCT in, we're gonna end up putting throw rug, or runner rugs in, because it's not gonna,
Okay.
now it is extra.
How much are we talking?
So I have a price for that. Same company, they gave us a little bid, and material and labor is $47.60 for those areas, which is just over 1,000 square feet.
On top of so it would bring like the
Would bring-
total price up that much?
Correct, so he
okay.
deducted the VCT and
Yeah.
labor of those areas.
Oh,
and then-
okay.
And then added in that product with labor.
Okay.
It is more expensive, but it would last a lot longer and wear a lot better, and plus it'll look terrific in
Yes.
those areas.
That would. I'm for that too, yeah. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, we just had it put down at our church, the luxury vinyl.
Nice.
It's a
looks
terrific
nice.
product, yes.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
we can bring that.
okay, so,
So you want, just so to make sure that the motion on that Monday night is right. Oh, 10, sorry. You want addendum 1, addendum 2, and the upgraded
So this was change order one.
change order one, thank you.
And thanks for getting all that legwork together. I think that's gonna be really nice.
So when we do motions, I'll put it as two separate motions. First motion will be addendum 1, which is the replacement of the current abated tile area. And then we'll do a motion for the amended part 2.
Okay,
Works for me.
I think that's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I talk briefly about the process?
What process is that?
Well, so I met with.
The answer is yes.
Okay, thank you. So I met with GRP this last week, Wednesday and Friday, and we're going through the elementary school. And so with this, I'm just talking about the abatement part, which is almost 28,000 square feet. And then it's 7,000 square feet for the alternate. Ideally, everything that is not attached to the floor needs to come out. And there's nowhere to put it, because it's all getting done.
Yeah,
And the other problem is that
that is so much.
the elementary school is not, there is only one grade, level grade entrance to that building. Everything else, every entrance has stairs. So there was talk about getting some storage containers or something outside, and then moving furniture out into there, which is feasible. But the process of doing that, taking it up and down the stairs, is gonna take,
Oh my goodness.
and plus, we're down, right now, we're currently down 4 custodians. So that's gonna be a problem. Talking to GRP, they want to start day one. As soon as school's out, they want to start. Now, whether it's here or over there, well, it's not gonna be just here. The abatement people want to start day one. They want to start with the ceiling between the multi-purpose room and the gym. They have to abate that ceiling so that GRP can come in, take those units down and put new stuff up. And they want to start and not stop. The tile guys want to start day one. So it's going to be, GRP is going to be doing some demo. The asbestos guys are doing their demo. The tile guys want to be right behind the asbestos guys because they want to be done by the time school starts. So we're talking 35,000 square feet, which is a lot of flooring.
Can I just ask, as you're
Sure.
saying that, have you had coordination meetings with all of them yet?
No, I have
Okay,
not.
okay.
I talked to them individually.
Right. Do you plan on having coordination meetings?
That's the meeting I was
That's the
referring
meeting
to.
that Jack's
Gotcha,
talking about.
okay.
The answer is yes.
Is there enough room to put them in like the gym, the den, the cafeteria for storage?
Cafeteria is getting done.
Yes.
Okay.
So
The
just
gym has got a soft floor to it,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
up and down stairs.
Yeah.
So typically when we move desks and things out, it's stacked on carts and it's rolled out by one person and it's put in the hallway. Easy peasy. But now we roll it down the hallway to the stairs. Everything that's stacked on that cart has to come off and 2 people have to bring it down the stairs, restack it on the cart and move it into place. It takes 3 times longer than it's gonna take.
Because it's gonna have to be out of the building the whole summer.
It's good.
Because they're gonna have to do abatement, then they're gonna have to do tile,
And
then
it's
they're
got-
gonna have to,
and
they're
then it
gonna
has to
have to
be
wax.
scrubbed
I mean,
and
this is gonna be out
waxed.
for 2 months.
Exactly. So, and I don't know, I didn't even discuss this yet with Jack, but I'm meeting on Thursday with a commercial moving company
Okay,
that would store it, move it out, store it, and move it back in.
okay.
I don't know, has anybody moved in the last 5 years? It's like $5,000 to $6,000 to move a
I'm
house,
doing it right now. Yeah,
right? This is 35,000 square feet.
right.
I'm just saying that number's gonna be big.
But here's
I
the
don't know
thing.
how else to do it.
Would
I
you
mean,
have
I
to
know
do the
I've moved a
orange?
classroom and I know what is labeled and done and everything. And the coordination of that would involve a whole nother crew of manpower for you.
Yes, now we did it here twice already, the last 2 summers. But we had time to do that.
Time and, sorry, my teachers, I love them, but the amount of stuff elementary.
Oh.
schools
Oh my
have in
gosh.
a classroom.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
The amount of stuff
Right.
that high school teachers have in a classroom, you can't even compare.
And then,
No.
and then it has to be organized so that it makes sure it goes back in the same place.
Yeah.
So we would store things in the hallway next to the classroom.
Right.
It's a no-brainer to get back in the right place. Storing it out of the building into an area and getting it back in the same spot,
Oh my gosh.
make everybody happy.
Would
I'm
it
still
make
trying
a
to figure that out.
difference to do the orange, like, in a second phase, like next summer? Because then you could store as much as possible in the orange section, since it doesn't have to be done for flooring?
I don't know, the orange section.
The
Like,
brown.
in the back- Brown, sorry. Mine was orange. Because that doesn't have to be done right now.
It is possible. The costs will be more but next year than they are right now, because it's gonna be a year later, and also the tile guys need to store their product somewhere.
Yeah.
And it has to be inside for
Yes.
let's say 5 days to
Yes.
acclimate to the room. Okay, so that on top of GRP putting in all their air conditioner work and stuff,
Yeah, there you go.
all summer.
So have you contacted any commercial movers?
I have, and
Okay.
I'm meeting someone on Thursday.
Okay.
I have no idea what the price is, but that's why I mentioned, you move
It's a
the
good
house, it's
thought.
like $5,000 or $6,000. This is, now, 28,000 square feet, it's not all furniture, it's less than that, but,
But that might be the key in keeping some sanity and,
and they'll store, they could, I don't know if they would store it off-site at their facility, which is in Bolingbrook, or if they would put pods here,
either way.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, keep us posted on that, because, yeah,
There's also, since we're talking about possible additional costs, as I've walked around to some of the classrooms, there are some of these shelving units and things that haven't been moved in 30 years. So just to keep in mind that once these things that are, as Mike said, they've been waxed into place for
Right.
30 years now, and we, do our best to try to move them out. There's definitely going to be some things that are going to need to be replaced as this happens.
Right, some of the shelving units, the only thing that's holding them against the wall is wax.
yeah.
And all that has to be taken down. And really, some of the teachers don't even realize that their classroom is getting done, the floors are getting done. They don't even realize that.
Oh, wow.
No, they know.
Hold it. Okay, well, on Friday, when I spoke to some of them, they were kind of surprised.
I had not talked to the 4th and 5th grade teachers in the new wing because I didn't know where we were
Right.
at about that, but all of the rooms that are being invaded, I touched base with all of them.
Okay.
And then also, and plus the new bathroom facilities that are gonna go in the kindergarten. That's a whole nother.
Oh, my God.
Some areas are gonna have to get painted. I don't see that happening before school. Maybe it will, I don't know yet, but, and then, areas are gonna have to get painted because of the demolition of both, for the air conditioning and for the construction of the bathrooms.
Are you going to be hiring high school kids or anything like summer help?
We've done that in the past. We're gonna try again, because nobody who's out of high school wants to work.
Sure.
here. So we're gonna try that. Now, the problem with that is somebody, adult-wise, needs to supervise them
Yeah.
the entire time.
Right.
We've tried it another way, we tried it before without supervision, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
They have to be supervised the whole time, so, we could certainly try that, yes.
Okay. This is a lot. Can it happen? I mean, is it all, can we do this?
Anything can happen.
Okay. I know, when you really explain it this way, I mean,
Well, that's what I was saying about
He's
the
worst
brown
case
being a
scenario kind of
phase
guy.
two.
I'm a positive guy.
Because that's also additional money we don't need to spend. I mean, just in
Right,
case
and
for the referendum,
I-
I'm thinking that too.
yeah.
Like you're talking about, it may cost us $20,000-$30,000
Yeah, I
to
have
move this,
no-
then you want to add another 50 for flooring that doesn't need replacement.
but then we're, well,
It all adds up.
I mean, this is an issue,
I'm not saying never
but
to be done, but it doesn't all have to be done this summer.
we are also, as we just talked about building materials and stuff, it's not gonna get better. And not only the prices, but also the supplies. I mean,
Oh, yeah, supplies is gonna be tough. Now, we haven't had this, I've talked to all three of those arms separately.
Okay.
We haven't really got everybody together and maybe we could come up with everybody wants to go, go, go.
Yes.
And, maybe somebody has to hold back.
Right.
some.
Well, and on big projects,
it
that's
to
what my
work.
husband does. Like, they do their coordination, and then everybody understands their piece, and they come to an agreement,
Right.
instead of you having to figure that out for them. So.
Right, so
Okay.
hopefully sooner than later, we're gonna have that meeting,
Yeah.
and we'll have a better plan.
Pass out some
What
Xanax.
happens on June 5th or 6th.
Okay. Great.
Okay?
It's gonna look awesome, though,
It will, it
everything.
will,
Yeah.
it will.
Okay.
I might be getting white hair again.
I mean.
You look great, Mike.
So should we do some kind of cost comparison between what we think that it would project if we held off on the brown area and what it's gonna cost us to add movers? I mean, maybe it's less money to hire a moving company and storage for several months, and I don't know, I don't know what those costs
It's-
are either, but.
Just so there is gonna, I don't know what the cost, because again, I have no idea what the movers would charge. But let's just say we did not do that north wing. But that means that everything from the south side of the school would have to be moved all the way to the north end of the school, and that will fill up.
Quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
then now we're in the same boat, we don't have enough room to move everything back. Plus where they're gonna start, the abatement is gonna be probably in the middle, because they wanna get the 2 rooms done where the bathrooms are, which is gonna block our path to go from north to south.
Okay. So there's a lot of logistics
There,
going on.
yes, there is. And the biggest issue is that everything's up steps, and we can't, even if we had areas that we can go outside and put multiple locations of pods, we have to go out of one door and then go all the way around the school to the west end of the parking lot. Speaking of parking lots,
Nice segue.
this year, I mean, it was mentioned before that this year for the high school, the high school West Drive, the elementary school West Drive and parking lot, and possibly the transportation lot. Those, it's been 2 years since those have been seal coated and striped. And, they're brand new, or they were brand new. To keep them newer, it should really, this is the summer to do that, unless you wanted to hold off for another year, which
Didn't
is
we
possible.
decide to put that on that rotation?
So this is the rotation. So
Right.
last year we did
Right.
everything else, and now what's left is the newer stuff that was done 2 years ago.
Right.
And there is, at the elementary school, there's a sewer that dropped, kind of sunk,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of crack filling that has to be done, and if we kind of hold off on that, it's not gonna get any better.
It's gonna get worse now, we gotta do it. Let's put it.
And I also reached out
Gotta be done.
to John Kaporis about the gravel drive up, because that's village land, Mr.
On
Dr.
Miller Street?
Graham said.
Miller Street? you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes. So and he's gonna put it on and see if they would entertain paving it or whatever. So maybe, if you're coordinating that, just ask him how much it would be, and maybe we could send him the bill and see what they say.
Okay, we can do that.
Because that is, especially since
much.
Brandy just
It's
stepped her
much.
stuff
Yeah,
in.
See the bottom of it.
Right? That's an appearance thing too, but it's also like, it's getting worse.
Well, plus,
But this
the
is
frost is not out of the ground, so.
Yeah, that's asphalt,
Park over it,
not then
sinks.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well, then
significant
maybe
amount
then
of money.
they keep on checking that, because I wasn't thinking about seal coating versus asphalt at all. So I don't want any more on your plate, but
Okay.
I did ask him, so maybe that'll
Okay.
go through.
All right.
But to answer your seal coating, yeah,
Yeah.
Just as a guess, just so you know, I'm thinking the high school is about 41,000 square feet, that was newer. That would probably be around, the gas prices have gone up so high, but as a guesstimate, $6,500.
Okay.
The elementary school, which is 38,000 square feet of new work, that'll be about $5,700. And then the transportation, which is just over 10,000 square feet, would be about $1,800.
Okay.
I guess, gas prices are going, it's
oh yeah,
$2 more than it was last year, so.
yeah.
Okay.
Probably look for a May board approval on that one.
Okay,
We'll have some time on that.
all right.
The trees. Mr. Meyer asked me to bring this to you guys because it's a problem I faced as a principal. It kind of went away for a year, but it's now coming a lot quicker and a lot heavier. So Mike, what's the issue with trees?
So I've got two individuals that have called about wanting trees planted, like past principals have planted in the south open area behind the gym. I am looking for a couple things. One, guidance in terms of, I'd like a plan. I'd like criteria. I don't know. I'm not from here, and I don't want to be callous, but I don't, so anybody and everybody wants a tree, we can have a tree, okay, but I want a place for it. I don't want it in the back here anymore because we use it for PE.
Here,
I don't want it in the south, behind the gym, because we use that space for PE, and I don't want something that is truly an honor or whatever. I don't want broken limbs, I don't want kids running into it, I don't want the tree broken, I don't want this, that, and the other thing. So if we could either, as a board, I'm new, I don't want to screw this up, and it's going to be here longer than I'm going to be here, but some sort of plan, some sort of criteria, some sort of place for these trees. Mike and I have hashed it out, Jack and I have kind of just talked things out and about, but one was from a couple years ago, and then the other one just called me about a month ago, and I called them back and just said, hey, I called the second one back and just said, we'll have a meeting, we'll see what's going on. We don't, we have till the spring anyway to decide.
Sure.
But in the past, BHS has provided a space, but the tree and the install was purchased by that particular family or person. The trees would be whatever is out there, something similar. We said we didn't want like a new redwood, my tree's gonna be bigger than yours. No, they'll all be, whatever that is. I'm fine with whatever we choose to do. I just don't want them in the back south part of the gym anymore.
Okay.
And
So-
the other part of that is, we also need an understanding, and again, I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but if I were to pass away tomorrow, I'm not going back to Westview and say, hey, I was a student here in 2001 when I graduated, I want a tree. And that's kind of what we have right now. We have some community members who are village people who have passed, and now they want a tree. When it originally was there, was a child who was in school,
Right.
passed away while at school.
Yes.
That's what the origin of it was. Well, then last year, I know Tim bought a tree for Nico, and so that's kind of where it's gone from there. Nico was 20 years old. Obviously, you guys know the situation.
Yeah.
So that's what spawned this. Well, my child is 22, or my mom is, and that's where I guess we're all in the kind of a tough spot. Is there a limit, or do we simply say, you know what, you're part of Beach, you're part of our community, we love to celebrate you, get us a tree, we'll get you a location somewhere else.
And the thing is, like, you have to take into account roots and things like that. And I'm all for planting trees, but I do see that. And then also, like, is there any other place on the grounds that this works with?
So
That's where
Like over
we
by
talked
the
Friday.
parking lot, or?
Well, I don't know if it has to be at the high school or it has to be at the elementary school, but in my limited amount of money that I get to do landscaping, we did elementary school a few years ago, we did the high school here. The junior high desperately needs landscaping.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna get some trees donated,
I mean,
I can put them there, get free landscaping out of it.
Yeah.
And use it there.
yeah.
We also have to think of like, for future, like if we have to add on, or if we build a new parking lot, or if we build a soccer field, or whatever like that, like, you don't wanna put these trees in a location that you're
Right.
gonna be doing something.
Sure.
Because where they're at now, even for the high school, if we were to add on to the high school, that would be the area.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it too, you talk about putting all these trees, and if you open up to everyone, all of our free space is covered in trees, then what happens if we have to end up adding on, which eventually in the future we're going to have to.
Right.
Since we decided to pour money into the schools and not build new ones.
And I forgot to add, what I have been told too is, we don't water them, we don't prune them, it's on them to take care of everything. We just offer
I
them
put
space.
bulbs around it though, I do that.
Okay.
Are we
Okay.
stuck
Sorry.
on the tree idea?
I'm sorry?
Are we stuck on the tree idea, or can we come up with a different, like, memorial wall or something like that?
These, both people just asked for trees.
Yeah.
That's all I know, because everybody else has gotten a tree in the past, I'm assuming.
There's like
If we did
those-
something like a
yeah.
memorial wall, now you're taking care of your problem of more people wanting to. right? It's not a tree, so you don't have to maintain it. Could be a wall right here in the hallway or somewhere, I don't know. Just
I mean, and I do
donate.
like the donation, you know, for the junior high. I think that's a great idea, but again, you need to have a stop there and then maybe an option.
From what I said to Mike too, I wouldn't know if they would come back and say, well, the junior high, I went to the high school, I wanted the high school area. The junior high wasn't even, it was a farm field, you know, when I grew up. Because one is fairly young, passed away, I think, from a drunk driver, if I remember, and the other one just passed away, she's probably 50-ish. I mean, I don't know, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So that's why I was wondering, I don't know. Like I
Is there
said,
any
anybody
way,
ever-
like, do you have suggestions of criteria? Like,
I think, I agree with Jack for sure. If some individual went to school here and passed away while they were in
Yes.
school, I mean, whatever we need to do, wherever we
Yes.
need to do it at, I'm truly fine with all that. I don't know. I'm with Jack. I don't think I would go ask Shenandoah, Iowa to have a tree for me, but that doesn't mean it's
Right.
right or wrong.
I mean, could we
I-
do this, we could, like, on a case-by-case basis, like, that it works that we do need some trees at the junior high, and if they would be interested in doing that, then we could do that.
I
Can you
think
do
that would,
that?
I don't want,
Yeah, I
because
don't think I
then
would-
you don't
No,
like my
okay.
family,
Sleep in his
because,
house.
you know, I'm
I mean,
not-
like, if I'm not rerunning, then you could figure
I
it
just,
out. No.
yeah, I just want, and I don't, yeah, and it doesn't have to be a lot,
That's
I don't
tough.
know, I don't know, but if anybody wants a tree, we say, okay, or is it, I like the wall, I like a cross, you know, we put, I mean, what else, I don't,
I'm sure you can have those on school property.
oh, that's right, come on, why
So
not?
with the trees,
I don't
do
know.
they do any like markers or placards or anything to say
All
this
the
is?
ones out here.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. And that's the responsibility of the sponsor as well?
We basically provide them a space.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we can look into, I'm happy to look into, reach out to, you know, some other friends that I have at schools or school boards and see if they have any suggestion or
Like,
guidance.
maybe it's a
or
thing.
research.
Yeah,
Sure.
maybe there's criteria set at other schools.
I don't, and we thought, at one point, you know, I thought, oh, what about, you know, behind the baseball field? Well, of course, you know, then the leaves are gonna be in the
Oh, yeah.
outfield, or they're gonna be in the.
Talk to
in the-
Coach Hay
you know,
about that.
yeah,
He'd say no.
I mean, you know, then I thought, okay, what about on the east perimeter between here and Casey's? You know, I don't know. I
Okay.
just don't want it back there
Yeah.
anymore, because I don't wanna
Okay.
take any more space from PE, which we're already limited, and I just don't want, no one plays over here per se, so, I don't know.
Right,
So
but
maybe-
again, you do have to
but-
think of like roots and things
Yep.
like
Yeah,
that. So
maybe-
maybe it's a tree program for a while and then it turns into another need that would be like a mutually, you know.
So maybe we can look into other schools. Could we put this as a pin and talk and see where, like, if we do that? Does that sound good?
Mike
okay
would
with
love
it.
to reach out to some other schools.
I mean, I can do it too. I don't
Yeah,
want you to
I
have
have
to.
no problem looking into
Yes.
doing research.
I mean, because I feel like then it's not from
Wonderful,
you.
thanks. Check them
Because
out.
I
Please,
feel,
thank you.
like, I feel like it should be, you know, then off of you and
I just
figure
want
it
to
out
bring it
as
to
a
you.
board.
I just wanted to bring it to you
Is
because
that
I
okay?
think it's, yeah, I just
Okay.
think it's, we're a village. We're all going to be involved in
Yes.
this. So I
Yes.
don't want, you know, me to do it and then whatever happens, next person.
You got it.
And I don't want, you've already got something established. and we
Let's
go
set
from
it. Absolutely. Okay, good, Randy? All right,
there. Thank you.
yeah.
And I can give you, well, names or whatever. I've got the names and all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
At some point.
after, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I do have a question. Where did we leave it with GRP and the junior high gym?
I mentioned
And
last board meeting, it's impossible because the equipment is not available. He said it's something you have to look at next summer,
Okey doke.
so.
Sorry.
He didn't even want to broach the subject because he said, you know, we're lucky to get him when we did.
Clearly, my
Nothing we
notes
can
were
do.
off. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Stanula, anything to add? No? You guys good? All right. Any public comment after? All right, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Hey.
All right.
Do you want him to pause and start anew, or do you?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're going to go executive